we already entered a very uncertain world in some way, but also certain in other ways. The uncertainty stems from the fact that world is in flux, changing so fast, difficult to predict. Challenges are immense. And in that context, it is very critical that there has to be some sort of understanding and some sort of a collaboration, camaraderie with the world community, because so much uncertain world we are living in. But as I said, certain in some other ways. And what is that certainty? We could face different kind of global challenges in the next few years. Some are predictable and some are completely out of sight as of now. The predictable ones will be in the form of climate change, financial crisis, migration, terrorism, disruption that could happen as a result of energy crisis, and many of those. Unpredictable are the ones, the certainty about unpredictability is a very paradoxical thing, but the reality, as many are saying, that we could have many more such pandemics in future. The reasons are different, but conclusion seems to be the same. That many health emergencies arising out of man and animal coming in contact more, the change in habitats, and many other reasons could lead to the pandemic becoming reality in the years to come. This pandemic showed us the way. WHO led the charge, but countries themselves collaborated. There was an extraordinary leaders meeting in the G20 platform to deal with COVID. It laid down a path. It did some very important interventions. It provided a leadership that was so critically needed to deal with such an extraordinary, unprecedented situation. It meant was that unpredictability needs more collaboration because everybody is groping in the dark. Just imagine there are 20 or more, numbers are not important. If there are some blind people trying to come out of a very difficult situation, the terrain which they are not aware of before, and therefore they are struggling. Suddenly, they don't know what to do, but suddenly somebody suggests, why don't we hold each other's hands? And maybe that might help us to get out of this very difficult situation. And that probably helps because all are blind, they don't know where to go. But because they're holding hands, because eyes are not showing anything, they have a confidence. Still, the path is unknown. They have now more in them than what they had before. That's their self-confidence. They can work together. That is what exactly unpredictability can help us to get over. The certainty of unpredictability is another challenge. Because unpredictability is known, it is like somebody saying, the intelligence agency telling you that there might be a terror attack. That's certain. But they don't know whether it comes from air, from land, from water. Whether they come in what form, nobody knows, but terror attack is a certainty. So certainty without with unpredictability. And that is what we are going to enter the world. And therefore, we need to have a collaboration. G20 can provide that platform. As I said, the predictable risks that the world is facing. I mentioned all, I don't want to repeat them again. Each of that risk can derail the socio-economic life like never before. The world has been built on some form of institutions. The world is moving due to some agreed understandings. World has certain path to pursue because people agree on something. Consensus has already happened on issues concerning human life, social life, political life, economic life. Just imagine that now we are entering a risk-prone world. Risks are known, even consequences are known. Unlike the other category which I mentioned, certainty but unpredictability. Here, predictable and certain both. Climate change is going to happen, terrorism is growing, all of that. If we do not work together, I give an example of blind struggling to come out of a situation. Here, we're struggling despite daylight, with eyes wide open. We can see the risks. Science has proved it. Sociologists are warning us about the dangers of climate, of issues like terrorism. Economists are giving stern warning about imminent economic challenges. So everything is known. Your eyes are open. But lacks one thing. That's political will. We lack something like institutions which can deal with such situations. And that's what we need, global governance. To govern is a necessity when you have to deal with certain situations. You govern a country, govern a town, govern a council, govern a company, govern a social institution, govern a religion. You govern many things. So you have agreed as a humanity that governance is something which is necessary. Whether it is self-governance or different form is a different issue. But if there is no governance, there could be a chaos. Now, in dealing with these known issues, known challenges, risks, which are clearly visible right on the wall for too long, we need governance of a different kind, elevated governance, enlightened governance, forward-looking governance, formidable governance, strong governance. And all that can happen if G20 can provide that leadership. G20 represents 86% of the global output. So strong. It has some of the most developed countries in the world as well as developing countries in the world, but aspiring developing countries. So one, presumably, the developed countries would have the vision, developing countries will have the mission. They can work together and work not just for themselves, but for others, for the entire world. So the group of 20 should not usurp the global governance, but can guide the global governance, lead the global governance, can help to create institutions, which will be democratic, which will be participatory, which will be rule-based, which will be visionary, which will have checks and balances inbuilt into those institutions. We have to do that. Else, I put it into two different buckets. Challenges ahead. One, the known risks. And we don't deal with them, I think we are heading into crisis. The other one, the challenge is known but not predictable. So both require governance, strong governance, visionary ideas, tools. I wish we succeed in doing that through G20. And that's the vision India would have. India would host the G20 2023 and will be waiting for Indonesia to do that job in 2022. Being a close friend, good friend, we really look forward to following them in the succeeding year. We already have worked very closely with our dear friends in Saudi Arabia and really wish before that with Japan very, very closely. Osaka, Riyadh, now Italy, and then Indonesia. So we have worked with all our partners, all 20 countries and more, because there are more countries who actually participate in G20 deliberations, and multilateral institutions, heads of them. We have worked very closely. We have worked with OECD, we have worked with WHO, we have worked with World Bank, with IMF, with ILO, all of them who join hands with the leaders to shape the future of the world. We have closely worked with them. So we really look forward to building new architecture for global governance, which will be driven by the need, but will be sustained in time, which will be having representation of all the countries in the world, all shades of opinion, and which will definitely be compassionate. The structure has to also have compassion, because normally structure cannot be in you to take care of the needs and the concerns of the developing countries. They need the help. It is the responsibility of others who are not in the G20 to take care of them. And that's the only way we can think about global governance. It's not governance exclusive for some few countries. It's for all. And that's why I really wish that India would take that leadership in shaping the public opinion, make sure that we work with our allies, we'll work with other countries and impress upon them the need to do so. We'll build alliances, we'll build bridges, we'll build friendships, and we'll get a much better world than what it is today through a process of understanding each other better, of mapping the challenges and drawing the strategies to deal with. We have the ability, the wherewithals, and we'll make that happen as we go along. I'm very happy that you organized this program. Governance aspect of G20, and I don't look at it governance of G20. I look at it as governance of the world through the initiative of G20. But again, I repeat, it's not G20 which is doing governance for itself. That is a different issue completely that we may have to think, but global governance cannot be decided only by G20, but could be deliberated by G20 for the benefit of all the countries. I wish all the best to this meeting, this conference, this thought process. I am sure ORF will bring together on their common platform many shades of opinion, many different ideas, and can help in creating this new vision for the world. Otherwise, we are heading for disaster. Even if you don't have address climate change, we are heading for extinction. Forget disaster. Extinction of the entire biodiversity, entire biological life, not only human beings. So just imagine we are committing suicide. I can understand you are taking your own life. But we are committing mass murder of the biodiversity, of destroying the entire creation of the nature, which has happened over millions of years of activities. By sheer greed, which Mahatma Gandhi said, there is enough available for everybody's need, but not everybody's greed. So I wish all the best to you. Congratulations.